Hey, what's up, guys? Coming on back from the video. And today I want to do my What If series. What if Naruto was a girl? Part 6. There. So, in the last part there, in part 5 there, we see Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke got accepted to the Chunin exams and stuff like that. Mostly they got accepted to the Chunin exams and stuff. We see Komohamaru and his gang were talking to Naruto there, and they're like, hey boss, you want to play ninja with us and stuff like that. That's what they were saying to her. She's like, oh yeah, sure, Komohamaru and stuff like that. And mostly, technically, they um, did that there, so I didn't really care there that much. And then technically, Komohamaru made fun of her forehead. She got pissed off at him. Naruto, or not Naruto, Komohamaru and Naruto totally run there and stuff like that. Mostly they ran into Kankuro there. Kankuro picks up Komohamaru there. Technically, Sasuke throws him the pebble there. And he's like, and stuff like that. He says he throws him the pebble there and stuff like that and let him go and stuff. Narco technically told him to let him go and stuff like that. And then technically he's like, what are you going to do, little girl? You want to take me on? And then technically Sasuke throws Conqueror the pebble there, or throws the pebble at Conqueror there. And he said, what are you doing? You like to pick on girls and stuff like that. That's what he said to him. And then Gaara was saying he was great to their village, stop being an embarrassment, and stuff like that happening and stuff. Technically, Narco gets pissed off. She's like, that chick and stuff like that. Mostly happening the same way. So they go to the training exam hall there. They mostly not bow to eye and stuff like that. Technically, Rock Lee comes in and tries to hit on Sakura and Naruto there. That still plays out the same. Technically, they try to get to the training exam hall there and stuff like that. Technically, Naruto was going to take on, or again, taking on Lee there. She gets floored, or she gets knocked on her ass there. And mostly, he's like, I don't want to fight you, Naruto. There, he's like, I like you and stuff like that. That's what Lee was saying. He's like, I want to take on the Uchiha there, so he takes on Sasuke. Sasuke gets his ass kicked like in the original series. There, they go to the exam hall there. Technically, Naruto actually slams on the thing there, saying, she's like, this is thing there, I'm a ninja and stuff like that, like she said there. And then mostly they pass there and stuff like that. And mostly the guy was laughing. He's like, oh yeah, she didn't wrote nothing down. She's like, yeah, she's like, she is something special there, Naruto Uzumaki and stuff like that. And then mostly they did all that stuff there. Anko announces the teams there, and then they trust Sasuke on scroll. That was the most in part 5. Let's go on to part 6 there. What if Naruto was a girl? So, they start up the gates there. They split up and stuff like that. Naruto was like, she's like, finally, she's like, let's do this, guys, and stuff like that. So they go into the Forest of Death there and stuff like that. Sasuke, like in the original story there, he gives out a code there. Mostly, he gives out a code there and stuff like that. And he's like something about that there. Sakura got it there, but Naruto, she didn't got it at all. She like, what's the code and stuff like that. And mostly stuff happens there. Mostly Naruto had to take a leap there, like in the original series, and then Sakura pounds her in the head. She's like, "Don't do it over here, Naruto. Do over there." She's like, "Ow, Sakura, really?" and stuff. And she's like, "Be a lady and do it over there," and stuff like that. And mostly when she was, when Naruto was taking a leap there, we see the enemy ninja there. Plays out the same there, but he said what he did with Naruto instead of Naruto, like in the original series. and then they take out the ninja there, and Naruto comes back. She's like, wait, what's happened there? And stuff like that. Until we get to Orochimaru there. So when they were taking on Orochimaru there, technically Naruto attacked first. She's like, yeah, I'm not gonna let you do it. Shadow clone jutsu, and mostly she's trying to do her shadow clones there. Orochimaru knocked them all, and then she's like, you're just a waste, and knocking Naruto through the woods, and she's like, ah, and stuff. They're like, Naruto, no, and stuff. And then Sasuke technically was taking on Orochimaru like in the original series there, so it still plays out the same with him. And then Naruto's getting eaten by the snake there. She's like, oh, how in the heck I get out of the snake and stuff like that. She's stabbing it. She's like, God damn, I'm not gonna be snake food. She's like, wait a minute. And she's like, Shadow Clone Jutsu. And then mostly Naruto explodes the snake there. She's like, I'm not gonna be fucking snake food and stuff. Mostly when Sasuke was technically fighting Orochimaru there, he's like, give it up, Sasuke. And he's like, hand me the scroll there and stuff like that. And he's like, never and stuff. And then technically Naruto comes. She's like, what is that password again and stuff like that. He's like, and then Orochimaru's like, I thought I got rid of the Hokage's brat there, or the fourth Hokage's brat there, but man, she came back. And mostly, so Naruto activates her Nine-Tails form there. Technically, Sasuke was getting massively pushed there. She was activating her Nine-Tails form, and then Sasuke was saying, Naruto, get out of here and stuff. And then she technically was starting to beat the crap out of Orochimaru there and stuff like that. Mostly, Orochimaru summoned a snake there. And then Naruto stabs it. She's like, you're not hurt, are you, scaredy cat? And stuff like that. And then Sasuke kind of remembers that what he did that to Naruto in the beginning, or in the beginning of the One If and stuff like that. And then she's like, oh, yeah, and then Orochimaru's like, oh, we're not gonna have that there. We're not gonna have that Nine-Tails going amok. And then she's like, let me go and stuff. And then mostly he lifted up Naruto's shirt, did the pride trail seals on her, and throws her against the tree, knocking her out there and stuff like that. And then he's like, I didn't forget you, Sasuke. Then bites Sasuke in the hand. He's on the arm, and like in the original series, he's like, oh crap. And then he's like, my work here is done. And stuff like that. And then technically Sakura runs over to Sasuke like in the original series. She's like, Sasuke's and Sasuke's like, ah, crap like that. And then freaking, and then she's like, Naruto, Sasuke's hurt and stuff like that. And mostly she technically drags her teammates there. Mostly Sakura technically drags her teammates there. She's trying to stay awake and stuff like that, but she is technically dozing off there. And then mostly she kind of remembers Sasuke getting bit there, and then she wakes her up there and stuff like that. It still happens. She's like, I'm gonna protect both of them and stuff like that. And she's suddenly getting a little bit jealous on that. She's like, oh man, it's like I'm gonna protect both of them and stuff like that. But still, she's like, they're my teammates and stuff. Even if Naruto is a little bit right by Sasuke right now, and I'm not liking that. That's what Sakura was actually saying. And mostly the Sound Ninja come there. They're like, we need to take on Sasuke, and we need to take him on now. And she's like, yeah, right, and so she's like, try your best, and mostly the team meeting and stuff like that happens like in the original series. Lee gets fucking floored. Lee comes in there, but without. He's like, I'm gonna protect these two girls and stuff like that. That's what Lee was actually saying. This time, Lee said this time he said, well, technically I'm going to protect these two girls and stuff. He gets fucking floored there and stuff like that. Mostly Ten was still hiding underneath the fucking like plants there, so they technically hide like cowards. That still happens in the original series. Until Sasuke wakes up there and activates his curse mark and crushes the guy's arm. That still happens. It plays the same out. there. He totally breaks his arm there. He's like, ah, he's like, what the fuck? And he's like, and breaks his arm there and stuff like that. King 10 arrives at the scene much later, and then they're like, wait, what's going on? And stuff like that. Ino is mostly confused. She's like, wait, Sakura, what happened to you? She's like, where's Naruto and stuff? She's like, she's right there. She's completely knocked out. And then mostly the Sound Ninja totally run. They're like, we will be back for you and stuff like that. That's what they told Sasuke. And mostly she technically bears hugs him like in the original series and stuff like that. Sakura technically bears hugs. Technically bears hugs Sakura technically bears hugs fucking Sasuke there like in the original series and stuff like that. That still plays out the same. And then mostly they wake up Naruto. They're like, what the heck is going on and stuff like that. Minus like this time, except giving Sakura like the haircut thing there. She's like, well, I'm gonna also fix your, and it was like actually saying to Naruto there, saying, well, I can also fix your hair also, Naruto, and stuff like that. She's like, I don't want my hair to be fixed and stuff. He's like, why you have to look like that? She's like, I actually kind of like my hair being long and stuff like that. That's what Naruto was actually saying. Naruto was actually saying that there and stuff like that. And they head off to the thing there. They run off with Kabuto there. That still plays out the same there and stuff like that. Mostly Naruto and Sakura are about to open up the scroll, but technically Nagato technically stopped them. And then they're like, why do you want to open up the scroll? And he's like, why do you both need to open up the scroll? He's like, we don't want like two little girls to get hurt and stuff like that. Naruto's like, step back, Sakura, I can take him on and stuff. He's like, really gonna take me on? He's like, I'm just trying to help you there. And then mostly Sasuke is like, oh crap, enemy and stuff like he did in the original series. And he's like, what do you want? And stuff like that. He's like, I'm gonna try to help you to get out of the forest there. He's like, my team's already done there. I already did the forest thing there and stuff like that. Like in the original series, he said that there and shit like that. And mostly they go to the end of the forest there. Mostly they still fight the Rain Ninja there. Technically, Naruto technically knocks him out there, like Naruto did in the original series. And stuff like that so happens. And then they get to the exam hall there. And Kabuto say, well, I'm done, like he said in the original series and stuff like that. So, when that actually happens there, they activate the scroll there. They're like, it's okay. They're like, okay, let's activate the scroll. Technically, Sakura and Sasuke put the scroll down. And then Haruka comes in. He's like, I'm pretty happy for all three of you to pass there. Now you can go into the second round and stuff like that. And then Naruto's like, finally I can get somebody to eat and stuff like that. How's Ichiraku and stuff like that? That's what Naruto was saying. She's like, oh yeah, you got it, Naruto, and stuff like that. And Sasuke was technically hiding his curse mark there and not noticing and stuff like that. So that was so that was going on with that stuff there. They get to the team selections there. Technically, Sakura kind of like points that out in the original series there. She was telling Sasuke, she's like, well, let the Jonins kind of know about the curse mark and stuff like that. And he's like, Sasuke was actually saying like, he's like, no, I want to let this there. He's like, I'm not doing it there and stuff like that. And he told Sakura, and he's like, do not tell them and stuff like that. And Naruto was actually saying, she's like, let them tell him and stuff like that. Why are you being a jerk, Sasuke? And stuff like that is what he said. And he's like mostly he's like the most person I want to fight more is you, Naruto. Stuff like that. He's like, the most person I want to fight is you and stuff like that. That's what Sasuke said to Naruto there. And she's like kind of like in that thing there. She's like, I'm pretty happy to hear that, Sasuke. He's like, I really want to kick your ass there, there and stuff like that. That's what technically Naruto actually was saying and stuff. And um, mostly when they was saying about that stuff there, uh, technically the tuning exams there play out the same with every fighter. Technically, I'm not really going to change nothing because nothing needs to be changed on that part. But yep, yeah, and that's it for the what if there. But in the next video there, or in the next what if there, we will go into the tuning exams. Well, technically, we'll go into the round 1 of the tuning exams. Technically, it's gonna mostly. I'm not gonna change too much there. Maybe I might just cover the Naruto and Kiba fight there because that might be a little bit different in all the other fights. All the other fights are gonna be the same, minus the Naruto and Kiba fight, or Naruto and Kiba fight. So, yep. Comment, rate, and responsive to its barrels. We like live burgers. Please subscribe. Hit the notification on the uploads. Comment responsive to its barrels. We like hanging out. Add your piece.